what up guys, this is Steiner.P, and welcome to part 3 on how to draw and illustrate an epic battle. For this part, well since the beginning anyway, we started with Attack on Titans, one of the very popular manga / anime that's going on right now. It's an epic and awesome series. Seriously, if you haven't gotten in on it, you should get in on it. It's pretty awesome. Alright guys, like previous tutorials that I've done, we're gonna do the tint, which I pretty much call this like a shadow. Like it pretty much adds your shadows and also your highlights, which is going to be the negative space that's going to get sucked up, which also becomes your highlights basically. So we're going in on this one, guys. This one's actually, surprisingly, it's not going to have any time elapses like the other ones did because they were like too time consuming. But this one, this one is actually like more durable. You're gonna see like the entire piece, you know, pretty much having its highlights and shadows and stuff. So that's like a good thing. You guys don't get to see that skip time lapse thingy that I did in the previous 2 videos. So that's a good thing. So basically what you want to do is just create a new layer, and on that layer you're just going to call it a tint. Basically the tint just like acts like your shadow layer. So we're going to end up changing the modes for it later on, but for now just leave it on normal and just use a blue, which pretty much is your tint, and it's basically just gonna act as the shadow indicators, which is cool because I always work through doing shadows more as opposed to starting off with like highlights and stuff. That's what a lot of artists do, but me, I'm different. I like to add shadows first more. Alright, so we're going in on this one. And dum. They're just adding shadow to his teeth. Just messing around here and there, seeing what works, what doesn't. Dum. You also want to make sure that you get all the nooks and crannies, crevices in. For this part, I'm just gonna do a quick shadow fill, because dum. And I a quick fill. I also noticed that I just quick shadow filled Armin up there. Yeah, makes sense. If he's on the side that where the shadow is, the shadow on the Titan's head is casting, so it makes sense why he's all that. There's my boy Levy. Love that dude. Levy is beast. I just love how he does his 360 sword slashes. Awesome. And here I'm just using the pen tool because there's gonna be like a huge like layer of just shadow, so this is where the pen tool comes extremely useful, extremely handy as well, you know. Oops, there we go. His hand's casting, it has like an inside shadow, so that's what we're going for. Fixing up those little crevices, those little nooks and crannies. But of course then that means I have to also do some erasing here and there, because this dude Aaron, yeah, he's basically gonna need some light on him, otherwise you can't see him. More shadows here and there. And this part's pretty cool because you get to see me actually dabble around with the eraser tool, and I'm just going to be erasing some parts of the highlights, well, the shadows parts anyway. This is actually rare because normally when I do like regular one character illustrations, I'm very like quick and I know I'm just working on one character, but in this case I'm working like on a whole piece that's filled with multiple characters. So depending on which one you want to start off with, that's the character you go. In this case I did the smart move and I chose the biggest character in the whole piece, which is the Titan. So we're just gonna do some erasing here and there. I over erased, which is fine. I also add more highlights. Dum dum dum. That looks good. Yeah. So, for those of you who have returned back to school, how are you liking that now? Probably don't like it much, do you? I remember when I was a teenager, I didn't want to go back to school. But my mom told me, we're going to school, blah blah blah, and I'm like, alright, fine. I want to get in a rage conversation with my mom, because I love my mom. I'm a mama's boy. Alright, that looks good. And we pretty much... Alright guys, apparently there's some time-elapse in this that I forgot to mention. Even though I said no, apparently there was. So, I apologize for that. Alright, and we're probably like already at the semifinals, guys. Once we're done with Mikasa, then we work on the other character that I still forgot to do, which is Levi, I believe. Is it? Meh. I'm just gonna work on here. Oh, step a bit, but saved. Doing her uniform, which I actually find weird how the designers gave him this jacket. I'm like, really? That's what you give me? A jacket and a sword to go into battle with when I gotta fight giants? I mean, can I get like some armor here? I'm gonna be taking battle, but you know, the creators, when they made this, they were like thinking armor's too heavy, so like it wouldn't be able to hover around to get to their neck parts, which is true. That's true. It's cool how they put physics in, so that's pretty awesome. That's something I could take notes on. I would actually probably pull a Shadow of the Colossus moment. A Shadow of the Colossus moment where, and I don't know if anyone, who's ever watching this knows Shadow of the Colossus. Basically, it's an old PlayStation 2, I believe. Yeah. Game where this one guy, he just climbs up these titan-like colossal beings, and he has to basically kill them by just climbing on them. Yeah, that's what basically I would do. I'd be like, alright, let me climbing up your leg here, and then I'm gonna climb up on your arm. Let me get to your neck, and blah. Getting her knuckles in, part where she can clamp down. Actually, it's her finger parts. And now we're adding some cool effects to her blade. The X-Acto swords, I call them. go. And almost done here. Still got ways to go though. Gotta add this shadow for her jacket part. And there's her shadow she cast from her upper hand. Adding a shadow in her palm because that's where her blade comes in. You know, when you're holding an item, it casts its own shadow in your own hand. So, just adding that in. Guys, we are almost done. This is like a huge piece, man. Normally I don't like to do huge recordings of like a piece that involves a lot of time and effort. Not just because I don't like it. It's I actually love doing huge pieces. It's just that, you know, I have a limited space on my hard drive on my computer, and also limited space on RAM. So I like to just do like videos of just like a single character, because they're normally like, they don't normally take a lot of, you know, gig space, or MB if in this case, since this is pretty much worked on 300 resolution at I think like 7 inches by 4.5, I believe. Because that way when I basically enlarge the piece, it's basically still just gonna keep its a good chunk amount of the resolution. However, anything over probably like an 11 by 17 would probably look pixelated. So it just needs to look good enough so that, you know, people can see the, you know, your artwork. So they're like, oh wow, that looks so awesome. You know, that's cool. I love you guys. You guys are the reasons why I do this. Especially brand new fans that I meet during conventions. You guys are awesome. Alright guys, we've pretty much hit the end of our rope. And I want to thank you again for watching. I'm Steiner Palomino. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.